You're welcome to today's edition of Ipman Today. Remember, Ipman Today is an advocacy program of Ipman, and the acronym for Ipman is the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria. Every week on Ipman Today, we'll bring you the depth of policies within the oil and gas sector, and we also bring you activities in the oil and gas sector. And now Ipman is collaborating with key stakeholders and the federal government to ensure successful policy implementation in the oil and gas sector. On today's Ipman Today, we'll be bringing you the verdict with our national president, Alhaji Shetima. What is our president talking about? He's talking about CNG. How well placed, how well prepared is Ipman right now in terms of CNG? And what partnerships are Ipman looking at to ensure that CNG remains a critical success for Nigerians? Right after that, I will be bringing you sights and sounds from the Nigeria Oil and Gas Energy Week, which took place last week in Abuja. Of course, key actors in Nigeria's oil and gas ministry were well represented. And of course, we also had this exclusive conversation with Power Gas Africa. What is Power Gas Africa doing to ensure that CNG remains a success in Nigeria? And how do they intend to collaborate with Ipman to ensure that CNG, yes, is a huge success? These conversations and more, I will be bringing you on today's edition of Ipman Today. Sights and sounds from the Nigeria Oil and Gas Energy Week, the thoughts of our president on CNG. My name remains Alpha Mokone. This is Ipman Today. Don't touch your remote. Remember, this is Africa's largest network, the NTA. Right on your screen right now will be the journey so far on CNG with Ipman. How far gone is Ipman and how well prepared is Ipman on CNG? Don't touch your remote. Our national president is on your screen next. So hello, you're welcome to the segment we call the verdict, still on Ipman Today. Of course, I'm with the national president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Alhaji Shetima. What are we discussing today? CNG. We know that as much as the federal government intends to make CNG a success, they can't do this without the collaboration, without the partnership of Ipman. Mr. President, you are welcome on today's episode, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Afan.
We're talking about CNG. Where is Ipman today in terms of the CNG drive? Where has Ipman positioned itself so far as of today, sir?
Well, in fact, since the program has started, we have been working, we independent petroleum marketers, day and night, to see that we follow Mr. President's agenda. And we are moving seriously because, one, we have already organized all our members. We tell them to register properly so that we can be able to identify their location, where the station is, everywhere where they are in the whole country. We can be able to trace them. So we have been bringing our members to come and register with us so that anytime when we wanted to use them, we can be able to use them, because we have been following the agenda of the Mr. President since the time when he inaugurated this CNG program.
Okay, Mr. President, you talked about your members. Let me quickly ask you, your members are used to white products, fuel and diesel. And sometimes there's this perception that CNG may not work. Do they have, how are your members receiving the idea of transitioning to CNG right now, sir?
Very good. Always we enlighten them. We have done a lot of seminars, and even now we are in contact with our partners in America, that is Independent Petroleum Marketers in America.
Wow.
So, and we are even preparing to go there and see how independent petroleum marketers are using CNG in their filling station. So all those things are there.
Let's talk about partnership. Is Ipman ready to partner with maybe multinational organizations to make CNG a success, or you don't want to do any partnership?
Just like what I have been saying, in Nigeria today, anybody who say he wanted to bring CNG in Nigeria, he must partner with independent petroleum marketers. Because that is the only way the program can be sold quickly. Because we are already in the system. All our filling stations are there. All our stations already has a place where we do as a discharging bay. And this discharging bay, we are going to use it as a combustion center. So you doesn't need to spend any big amount of money in buying land or in constructing filling station. Already we have a lot of filling stations all over the country. So if you partner with Ipman, that is the only way you can be able to sell your program.
So the major advantage of partnering with Ipman is that you can sell your product faster.
Yes.
But you talked about membership in terms of your strength, in terms of your spread in Nigeria. Some people, I'm sure some investors are watching this program now and they are thinking, okay, we want to partner with Ipman, but what is the strength in terms of spread of Ipman in Nigeria?
The independent petroleum marketers were very strong in terms of business.
Okay.
Because no any association has a capital that we invested in Nigeria.
Really, sir?
Yes. Amounting to trillions of naira is being invested. So any partnership come, he will find it very easy and we can work very easily. And the program will be carried out all over the country, not only in the cities, even in the localities.
So, generally, sir, how do you think this CNG will succeed? In your mind, sir, let's be honest with it. Do you think it will succeed, sir? And if it will succeed, sir, are there challenges? Let's talk about it, sir.
The CNG program will succeed.
Why do you say so, sir?
Well, already we have the commodity in our country.
Yes.
And it's cheaper, economical, at the same time, it's environmental friendly.
In fact, sir, some people have, not some people anyway, some core analysts have said that Nigeria is actually a gas nation, not actually a petrol nation, that we have more gas than fuel.
Yes.
So do we see in the future that Ipman will finally transit towards gas? Your members will finally...
Seriously, that is now in our association now, Independent Petroleum Marketers, we add the energy. We add the energy, any kind of energy, either gas, electrical, including even wind energy.
Oh, wow.
So we are just ready. So the program is a very good program. And we know it's the future of Nigeria by God's grace.
So, sir, what are your words to partners looking to invest with Ipman in terms of CNG? What is your words to these people, sir?
Well, the investors that are trying to invest, let them come to independent petroleum marketers so that they will benefit on their investment. So that they will do their investment so quickly instead of waiting many numbers of years before you construct a filling station or before you get the site.
But do you think these investors will get turnover if they invest with Ipman?
Seriously. Presently, even in PMS, we have almost 90% consumption by the masses. We sell over 90%.
Okay, the total sales
in Nigeria, Ipman sell over 90%.
Wow. So
because in most of the cases, our filling stations are in a strategic area whereby people will be coming and be buying our products. So the same thing if we put any electrical source of energy or CNG, you will see how people will start patronizing us.
Okay, so Mr. President, I want to ask you about data in terms of CNG. Do you have particular filling stations that you have earmarked as the president of Ipman for pilot phases in terms of CNG? Or do you think you just roll out CNG across all your stations members?
No, for piloting, already we started looking at strategic filling stations that we know. Even today, when you install CNG pumps, you will continue your sales. So we have already put all those one in a roadmap. And remember that any CNG filling station that you see in NIPCO is our property. Yes.
Any CNG
is our property.
It's Ipman's property?
It's Ipman property because it's NIPCO. NIPCO is our commercial arm.
Okay. NIPCO is the commercial arm of
Ipman.
Okay, for those who don't know.
For those who doesn't know.
Yes, okay.
It's our commercial arm.
Okay. So, Mr. President, sir, we're running up the conversation. What are your last words for CNG and what's your message to Nigerians also in terms of CNG, sir?
Well, what I can say about the issue of the CNG, first of all, let me thank the Mr. President, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for bringing in this important idea that at least will help the masses. So we want to call the attention of all our members. Let them try as quickly as possible. Let them register with independent petroleum marketers. Let them register their companies. And let them give full support to Mr. President on this agenda of CNG. And let the masses too cooperate with the Mr. President, because what Mr. President is trying to bring to Nigeria is a very good thing, and it will help our economy, and it will help our country. So we need everybody to stand and to support this important program.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's been a nice time having you on the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Afan.
Remember, like I said, and like I always say, the voice of Ipman is the voice of the oil and gas industry, and the voice of the president of Ipman is the voice of all independent marketers. Now we go over to NOG Energy Week. Now remember, the Ipman today was at the Nigeria Oil and Gas Energy Week, which took place in Abuja last week at the ICC in Abuja. Let's bring you some sound bites from the Minister of Gas and from the SA to the President on gas. Let's go over now to NOG Energy Week and give you some sound bites. We'll be back. Don't touch your remote. The national president of Ipman saying it as it is on CNG, and how well prepared Ipman is ready to deliver on the mandate of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on CNG in Nigeria. Ipman is ready for critical partnerships. Ipman is ready for investment in CNG. No doubt Ipman is the next big thing to happen when it comes to CNG. After now, let's listen to the conversation I had with Power Gas Africa at the Nigeria Oil and Gas Energy Week. After this conversation, more sights and sounds from the Nigeria Oil and Gas Energy Week will fill your screen. Remember, like I said, at the Nigeria Oil and Gas Energy Week, key players from Nigeria's oil and gas sector were well represented. And of course, everything is all about green energy. Everything is all about CNG. Let's go over now to our conversation next with Power Gas Africa. Don't touch your remote. Hello, you're welcome back from that short break. And just like I said before the break, we'll be talking about the depths of CNG in Nigeria with Power Gas Africa. And of course, I'm on set with two wonderful gentlemen, Mr. Abiodun and Mr. Kita. You're welcome on show, please.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mr. Kita.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like to begin with Mr. Abiodun. Let's talk about Power Gas and your efforts in complementing the CNG drive in Nigeria. Of course, no CNG is the new bride of the federal government today. So how is Power Gas complementing the CNG drive of the federal government?
So thank you very much. So like you rightly said, CNG is the new bride, is the toast, is the in thing right now, in our industry. We've come from a situation where the fuel subsidy was removed. It was at the instance of the president, that we be able to adjust and to alleviate, the sufferings of the Nigerians. And of course, the most viable option in the room was, of course, when you take away subsidy, you introduce alternative power, for vehicles, for industries, and that was where CNG was bettered. Interestingly, we have been, as Power Gas, we've been at the forefront of CNG deployment and utilization in the country. It's been over 13 years of doing CNG business in Nigeria. We greatly complement the efforts of the federal government, and particularly the initiatives that bother on, deploying and using CNG as an alternative fuel. Our mantra as a company is to promote clean fuel and clean energy. And interestingly, even though, CNG is a byproduct of the same hydrocarbons, that we are shying away from, we are at a point where, we promote the utilization of cleaner fuels, being in this case gas, as against the dirtier options like PMS and diesel. The government initiative currently, there are a couple of them, particularly in the gas space. There is the Decade of Gas, and there is currently run by, our veterans in the industry, as well as, the current presidential initiative on CNG, which specifically speaks to, auto CNG deployments and how, like we mentioned at the beginning of this program, we are using that opportunity, to introduce CNG into the market. Power Gas has been at the forefront, like I said, of deploying CNG, and every effort of the government towards its promotion, utilization, and deployment, we are very, very aligned with it, and we are abreast of it.
Mr. Kita, let's talk about Power Gas now. What does Power Gas represent?
Basically, we are a company which bridges the gap. We make a virtual pipeline to supply gas to customers that require the gas. And today, if you look at the price of operating a plant where the electricity is not very stable, the price of diesel has gone up tremendously. The only alternate is to go on gas. So we set up a virtual pipeline, take the gas to customers that are away from the pipeline or require CNG. We have 5 compression plants in Nigeria, and so therefore the 5 compression plants assure that we have a very, very good uptime, because we can cover customers from different angles where required. Our uptime has always been very close to 99-100%, and the only times, we have, what do you call it, even if we do have a problem at one of our plants, we can always back it up from our other alternate plants which are situated close by.
I come back to you, Mr. Abiodun. I mean, CNG everywhere today in Nigeria is CNG. But in your mind, do you think CNG is a viable source of power or energy in the power and transport sector in Nigeria? I mean, how reliable do you think CNG will thrive in Nigeria?
So, as a company, as Power Gas, we very, very believe in the idea that CNG can actually take over, can complement, particularly in our climate like this, where we have a multiple energy mix. CNG has always been known to be greener. It's a sustainable product. If you think about it, we have abundance of natural gas in the country, and historically we've always, flared our gas. We've always, re-injected gas. Gas has always been, somewhat of a byproduct. But at this time, it's interesting that we're at a point where, we are actually able to contain that gas and use that gas to further develop, our country. Beyond the glaring advantages of CNG over white products. Thank you. One of them is the fact that it's cheaper. If you think about it, it is well documented that for a 400-kilometer journey, for example, if you were to consume either diesel or PMS, and you spend an average of about, let's say 30,000 naira, the equivalent of that journey on a CNG vehicle is about maybe 6,000 naira. So the differential is well over 50%. The ROI also on investing on the conversion would outpay itself as quickly as in weeks or even months, depending on the profile of the car user. So CNG happily and readily can complement our transport sector because it's cheaper, it's cleaner, it's readily available. We also have capacity because as a company, we have, like my colleague had said, we have 4 facilities spread in 3 geopolitical zones in country with a total of almost of about 25 million scoff, per day. And with that, we are also looking to collaborate with the likes of Ipman, and that's why we are on the show today, such that we can readily have CNG available in as many filling stations, because that signage readily creates that avenue for CNG to be deployed even further, as against if we had to start developing daughter stations all over the country. Our leaders in the industry have always said it, that there are ready-made filling stations, both the ones in use and the ones that are out of order, that will readily be retooled to be able to accommodate dispensing to our customers. So we see it as a viable alternative for transportation, definitely, because it's cheaper, it's cleaner, the infrastructure exists, and we also are very grateful for government thus far, not only for encouraging the initiative, but providing, the framework which makes it available for us to be able to meet the needs of our consumers, our customers, and even the nation at large.
In terms of collaborating with Ipman and Power Gas to ensure the successful delivery of CNG in Nigeria, what are those indices you are looking at Power Gas now? So
at Power Gas, Ipman is the most important channel, of course, after the policies, the framework has been
Ipman is the most important channel.
The most important channel, of course, like I said, after government has created the framework and created the environment, because like I explained, Ipman alone represents access to the teeming consumers and the populations that actually need the product. So for us, this is the kind of partnership, the kind of leverage that we're looking for. We want to continue to engage some more to see how, we'll be able to deliver from our own end, how this solution can trickle down to everybody.
In all of this, tell us, how reliable are your CNG centers? Because Nigerians want to know about reliability. When we're talking about CNG, everyone wants to patronize CNG, everyone wants to use CNG, but they want to be rest assured that whatever they're patronizing is reliable. So how reliable are your CNG stations?
Yeah, you see, the thing is, in most of these stations, we are using, we're getting the gas from the, directly from the wellhead. So basically, we are not relying on pipeline and all that for some of our stations. So therefore, we have an uptime, a very, very high uptime. Like I told you earlier, 99-100% uptime. And then in case we have a problem in any of the stations, our other stations are so close by that, our value chain doesn't break. We maintain our chain by either bringing it from the same station or from one of our alternate stations. That's the reason we have so many mother stations in Nigeria.
Amazing. I'm sure you've heard it all from Mr. Kita and Mr. Abiodun. Now, of course, Mr. Kita is the head of commercial and Mr. Abiodun is the head of strategy. Am I right? Now, this is Ipman today. You've heard it all. Power Gas is doing quite enormously well in ensuring the successful drive of CNG in Nigeria. You might want to go check their website and see more of what they're doing. This is Ipman today. I'll be back right after this short break. Don't touch your remote. Certainly, there will be new innovations within the CNG sector by next week, and be rest assured that Ipman is ready to bring you all you need to know and all you need to hear on CNG in Nigeria. This is the part that I hate the most. You know that, the part where I have to draw the curtains on Ipman today. Many thanks for staying with us. You've heard the president. Ipman is ready to ensure that CNG succeeds in Nigeria. Power Gas Africa is ready to collaborate with Ipman to also ensure that CNG succeeds in Nigeria. My name remains Afamokune. Till I come your way again, same time next week on Ipman today. Don't touch your remote. Africa's largest network, the NTA, continues with their sublime broadcasting.